Yeah, okay. The session recording has just now begun. So let us start by discussing the focus of this session, that is the significance of managerial economics in general and the significance of economics in particular. So we said that any subject that is being taught to you in the first semester should be useful to the manager for decision making purposes. Yeah, whenever subjects like marketing, finance, and all are taught to you, yeah, they are the subjects which are going to be useful for you at the entry level of the career. The subject which is going to be useful for decision making lifelong in your professional career happens to be managerial economics or economics in general. So because of this, you find that number of managers in the company, MDs, CEOs, and the entrepreneurs spend a lot of time. Yeah, they spend a lot of time in understanding the current business economic situation at the local level as well as at the national and at the international level. Now, just I was sharing that this is a very nice time to start the discussion of managerial economics at the mid of January. Yeah, because in the very first week of February, you will be seeing that the budget presentation takes place. Yeah, the budget present a union government is going to present the budget, and when the budget is going to be presented, you'll be seeing that number of the CEOs, the managing directors of the company, the promoters of the company, leading business tycoons of India, as well as the CEOs of multinational companies are very eagerly watching the presentation of the union budget. Now, it does mean that union budget is nothing but a kind of economic policy instrument. Means what policies the government is going to take in the coming year, how the taxation is going to be there, how revenues are going to be earned by the government, and where the government is going to spend, whether the business environment will become friendly or it is not going to be business friendly. All these perceptions are to be understood from the policy prescriptions which are given by the Union Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman. So when Nirmala Sitharaman presents the budget, it is not just the economists all over the world and in all over the country, but it is the business leaders are the people who are in the forefront of spending entire day, not only entire day, the day of presentation of the budget, plus the following 10-15 days, they entirely spend time on analyzing the budget. So budget is a very, very important economic tool or economic instrument which has an impact on the working of the economy and working of the businesses. So how this is going to affect your business, if you want to understand, you have to understand the terms or basic course in economics has to be done. Basic course in managerial economics has to be done. Yeah, basic course in managerial economics has to be done. Then only you'll understand what are the terms and terminologies economics, what are the laws and theories in economics, and how the policies at the national level are going to influence the businesses in our area like Kolhapur, how small businesses are going to get affected, or how whether they are going to be influenced favorably or unfavorably because of the policy decisions. All these things can be analyzed only when you have a background in economics or only you have a basic introduction to economics. So it does not mean that you become an expert in the subject. We don't want you to become a pure economist, but at least you should be able to have minimum knowledge of economics so that you are able to understand the contents of the budgets. Not only that, you are comfortable in reading the business page of every newspaper. Every newspaper leading dailies like Indian Express has Business Express as one of the interior pages. Similarly, Times of India has Business Times as one of the important pages. Now, these pages are meant for business people, business leaders. Based on this, they are going to understand what is the current situation of our businesses and economy and what's likely to be the future direction of our economy or future business direction we are going to understand from this. So now when you are comfortable with the basic terms and are able to understand the Business Times and the Business Express one page, Later on, when you gain experience, you are supposed to progress to the next specialized papers like Economic Times and the Financial Express. Economic Times and Financial Express. Now, if you would like to have the basic content, you want to understand the basic content of all these things, grounding in economics, grounding or introduction to economics is very much necessary. So that is the reason why this course is introduced to you. This course has been introduced to you in the very first semester. You'll be experiencing that this is one of the most useful and one of the most lifelong, we can say, associated subject which will be useful for you not only at the start but middle and at the higher end of your career also. In the last session also I gave an example to tell you that the general managers of the company, the CEOs of the company do not spend time on the shop floor. They'll be sitting in the AC cabins and reading these Times of India, reading Economic Times and Financial Express. What exactly they want to understand? They would like to understand the economic situation of our nation. They want to understand the economic situation of the world, and they want to see in which direction their business is going to go. Whether they should expand the business, whether they should postpone their investment decisions, or whether they should withdraw from the business entirely depends upon their perception about their current and the future business environment. So every business manager should have a perception of the current business and economic situation of our country, current business and economic situation of the world, and this he will get only when he is able to understand the language of economics. When he's able to understand the language of economics, and that is the reason why this subject of managerial economics in particular is introduced. Now, in the last session, I told we are going to proceed. We are going to proceed in two forms. First, in the unit number 1, we will be focusing on basics of economics, and secondly, we are going to discuss about the introduction or the basics of economics, so that everyone understands. Everyone understands the content of economics. So that is the reason my portion will be focusing on introducing you to the basics of economics in the one or two sessions. Okay, so let me share my screen and introduce you to some of the basic concepts which we have discussed or which we have just started in the last session. Okay, so let me go directly to the screen. Let me see the screen. Yeah, so I hope you are able to see the screen. Yeah, screen is visible.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, okay. So this is in continuation of what I have said in the last session, that we are going to focus on making everybody comfortable with the basic terms and terminologies in economics. In order to make everybody comfortable, we'll be discussing the contents as follows. So we'll be focusing on the contents which I'll be focusing and I'll be presenting in the class in the following form. Yeah, that is, first we shall be focusing, as I said, we have already started with the meaning of the word economics. We have just mentioned meaning of the word economics. Then we said the literature of economics has been evolving for more than 300 years. So many definitions are there. So we'll be picking up some 3 or 4 definitions and analyzing them and understanding the focus and content of economics. So we are going to focus on this definitions of economics. So we'll be picking up only 3 to 4 definitions. In the last 300 years, you might have seen that there are thousands and thousands of economists all over the world who have contributed to this particular subject. That is one thing. And number of economists have also won the Nobel Prize for their contribution to economics. So many Nobel laureates are there. And among them, we'll be picking up only 4 or 5, which are very significant to understand the content and nature of economics. So the purpose is not to memorize the definitions. The purpose is to understand what exactly the subject is. Yeah. In the last session, we found that, okay, more than 90% of the students are getting introduced to the subject for the first time. So what do? We initially introduce the subject's basics so that everybody is comfortable when we actually enter into the core of managerial economics. So after covering the definitions, I said we are going to focus on the branches, branches of economics. Yeah, nowadays you might be seeing that economics is studied, is applied at the national level, economics is applied at the international level, economics is applied at the Reserve Bank of India level, and economics is also applied at the industry level. So many branches are there. So among all the branches, which are the most important branches, we shall try to discuss. Yeah, then let me take a pause here. I think somebody's mic is on. Kamlesh, can you switch off your mic? Okay, so let me continue from here. Yeah, so we are just trying to have the content of economics by understanding the meaning, the definition, the branches, and then we shall try to see what are the economic basic economic problems. Yeah, basic economic problems, or they are also called fundamental economic questions, or they are also called fundamental economic problems or questions. So in all the branches of economics, we are basically answering three fundamental questions. Just for your reference, let me put it here. We are answering three fundamental questions, and this is what we are trying to explain. Okay, after explaining the fundamental economic problems which are discussed, which are discussed in all branches of economics, all branches of economics, we shall try to see how the laws and theories are providing an answer to the basic economic questions. Answers to basic economic problems or fundamental economic questions. So answers. So if we are discussing, we can say the content like this, even this much content is sufficient for the a new student to understand what exactly is the subject, what exactly the subject is all about. So this is a kind of what I call it as an orientation kind of a session, wherein after listening to one or two sessions, everybody understands what is the use of the subject, what is the content of the subject, where it is going to be useful to me, and moreover, you'll realize why it is the most popular subject in the management schools, not only in cyber, but in all other management schools like IIM Ahmedabad and world over. Economics happens to be the most popular management subject in all the management schools. Why is it so? We shall try to understand. So first, what we'll pick up, I think we are going to pick up the first content and just take a review of it. I'm sure brief content has been already discussed in the last session. So let me just put it here, that what exactly are the points which we have discussed in the last session as far as meaning of this subject is concerned. Okay, meaning of this subject is concerned. Initially, we said that it was derived from a Greek letter. It was derived from a Greek letter, and the Greek letter was oikonomia. Oikonomia. The meaning of this Greek letter was, that is what we are supposed to remember. This meaning of this Greek letter was, it is household management of wants. This is what you are supposed to remember, household management of wants. So economics initially emerged in the context of study of households, and within the households, what it was trying to study, it was focusing on study of human wants. Now, why there is a need for studying of human wants? The need for studying of human wants is basically as why there is a need. Why there is a need? Because we have already said human wants are what we call it as infinite oblique unlimited. Infinite or unlimited, and the resources resources or I can say income. The major resource which we use is income. Resources or income is resources or income are limited. What I call limited, or the word which we use in economics is scarce. So if you ask me to underline the most important words, yeah, it is economics is nothing but it trying to explain how people in the households, are using their yeah limited resources, are using their limited income. People in the households are using their limited or scarce income to achieve their unlimited or infinite wants. So that was the starting point of study of economics. But as time passed, it was observed. What it was observed, that the same kind of what we call it as, I can call it as, this is an economic imbalance. Economic imbalance. Economic imbalance. This phenomenon of economic imbalance. Now, what is the imbalance? That wants are at a higher level, needs of the society are at an infinite or at a higher level, and the resources or income are at the lower level. So there is an economic imbalance. So how laws and theories in economics can be used to correct this imbalance? Correct this imbalance is what we are trying to explain in the subject, explain in the or we can say the entire subject of economics. Now, as the time passed, it was observed that the same kind of economic imbalance is faced in other sectors of the economy also. Yeah, it is also faced in the other sectors. In the other sectors also, it is faced similarly, same. So that means what has happened is the scope of the subject widened over the year. I can put it here, the scope of subject, scope of economics widened over the years, widened over the years. Now, why it widened? It widened because economic imbalance is faced all the sectors, all the sectors face the economic imbalance problem. Economic imbalance. Sorry, I just spelled it wrong. Economic imbalance problem. Everybody is facing this. So the problem which is faced at the household level is also faced in all other sector. All other sectors means what? The same problem is faced in agriculture sector. The same problem is faced in industry sector. Yeah, industry sector. The same economic imbalance problem is faced in the total economy. Yeah, or I can say it is faced in service sector. Services sector. Services sector. Yeah, it is also faced in the same economic imbalance is faced in total economy. Total economy it is faced. Similarly, it is also faced in international level also. International level also. So this is the reason why the scope of the subject has widened over the last 300 years. And today, this is a subject which is applicable in agriculture. In agriculture, it is a subject which is applicable in industries. Yeah, industries. It is a subject which is applicable in services sector. It is a subject which is applicable in for the total economy, and it is a subject which is applicable in international level also. Why it became applicable? Because the fundamental problem which is faced in the households what is the fundamental problem? That limitedness of the resources and unlimitedness of the human wants. This imbalance is faced, a farmer is facing it. Farmers' land is limited in agriculture sector. The farmers' land is limited, the money is limited, manpower to a certain extent, in some, not for our countries, but for other countries, manpower is also limited. Yeah, so he has to see how best he can use the limited land, to achieve the maximum production. Similarly, all industries and services also facing the same problem. The money they can invest in the industries for business activities is limited, but the objective is what? They want unlimited profit. Unlimited profit they want. So how they are able to achieve this unlimited profit objective with the limited resources, the laws and theories of economics are going to explain. Now, similarly, in the total economy also, we see that the economy is facing so many economic problems like unemployment is there, poverty is there, unutilization of resources is there, high rise in prices there, yeah, low rate of growth in the economy is there. All these are economic problems. All these are economic problems. Now, in order to deal these all economic problems, the money which finance minister is able to gain or is able to raise is very much limited. So resources at the national level are also limited, just like they are limited in industries, they are limited in agriculture. Similarly, at the international level, like World Bank and International Monetary Fund, they also face limitation of resources because those resources are to be used for the development of, for the progress of the all the countries of the world. And when you take the economic problems of all the countries of the world, they are infinite or unlimited in nature. And the resources which World Bank can raise is very much limited. And that is the reason why laws and theories of economics which are used to explain how resources can be used at the household level to achieve the unlimited wants, the same theories and laws are also applicable in agriculture, they are applicable in industries, and they are also applicable in total economy and international level. So since the scope of economics has widened over the year, the meaning has also changed. And today, the meaning, what does it today? The meaning of the word economics. The meaning of the word economics is it is called management of resources. Management of resources. So if anybody asks you what is economics, you have to tell that it is a subject which tells you about management of resources. This is what I would like to highlight. I would like to highlight with a different color. Yeah, so this entire slide, what is more important for you to remember is the meaning is nothing but it is it is management of resources. So this is the reason why this subject is taught in the very first semester of all management schools in all over the world, not only in cyber but everywhere. All management schools in India and all management schools in the world start this because the philosophy of management, the foundation of management is economics, and the one small branch of economics happens to be the management science, which has become very popular in the last 2 to 3 decades. So when in management you talk about resource management at only the industry level or at the firm level only, whereas we talk about in economics we talk about management of resources not only in the industry or services level, but we are talking about management of resources in agriculture, management of resources in the households, management of the resources in the total economy, and management of resources is management of resources at the international level. So therefore economics is said to be the mother of all management sciences. Why is it? Because it is a universally applicable management subject, not only at the households, but it is also applicable in all the sector. So it is known as, I'll just put it here again, a very important observation, that it is what I can call it as the mother of all management sciences. Mother of all management sciences. So if you understand, yeah, if you understand what I can say, the spirit of the spirit of economics, you'll understand management. And other subjects are just a small branch or application. Suppose you are learning human resource management, means you are learning only about managing people in the organization. But economics talk about managing the people and managing the machines. Not only managing the people, not only managing the machines, but also managing the money resources of the organization also. So that is the reason why economics is a broader management science. Again, I'll put it as it is a broader management science. is a broader management it is a broader management science when compared to all other disciplines which you are actually learning. This you are learning in the very first semester as well as in the coming semesters. So with this, I'm sure you have understood the foundation and as well as the starting point of economics, where economics actually started initially, and how what was the focus of the study initially. We understood that the focus of the study was managing wants at the household level, but later on it was found that the same kind of problems which are faced, economic management problems which are faced in the household, is also faced in all other sectors. So the scope of economics came outside the house, and now it is applicable to all the sectors like agriculture, industry, services, total economy, and international level. So therefore, more precise meaning of economics, the word economics today is nothing but management of resources, and that is the reason why we call it as the broader management science as well as the mother of all management sciences. Now, in order to have a greater understanding, what do? We pick up certain definitions of economics. We'll try to pick up certain definitions of economics to analyze or to try to see what the famous authors or most significant authors and the writers and Nobel laureate in economics have to say about the nature and content of economics. Now, as I said, the history of economics has been evolving over so many centuries, 3 centuries, and in the 3 centuries, thousands and thousands of economists have contributed to the literature. And among all these, we are going to pick up only 3 or 4 definitions, analyze them, and try to understand the content of the subject. Content. So as I said, we'll be analyzing only 3 definitions. Yeah, we'll analyzing 3. First one we pick up. Yeah, I'll just pick up the first definition, which I can just label it. Let us say I will label it like this. The first definition I pick up is that of Adam Smith. Yeah? Adam Smith's definition I shall try to pick up, because this is the first definition of economics which was given in the year 1776. And in the year 1776, we find that this definition, when Adam Smith gave this definition for the first time, economics started emerging as a separate discipline. Before 1776, economics was not a separate branch of study. It was a part of political philosophy. But with the writing of the book, with the writing of a particular book, famous book, which Adam Smith has written, I'm sure some of you may be knowing, it is Wealth of Nations. So this was a path-breaking book which Adam Smith has written, and in this book we find the first definition of economics, the first definition which is universally accepted as the best definition of economics for the first time. And the definition which he gives is as follows. The definition which he says, it is nothing but economics is a science, S-E-N-S, it is a science of wealth. Economics is a science of wealth. Wealth means, in a very narrow sense, money. Wealth means, in a very narrow sense, it refers to money. So how money gets created at an individual level, how money gets maximized at the individual level, at the industry level, and at the national level is what is being discussed in economics. So that was a perspective. That was a perspective or understanding which Adam Smith wanted to give. So first is that, yes, we do study about wealth and money in economics. How money can be created. Money gets created at the individual level, at the firm, industry level, how at agriculture level, at the total economy level, and at the international level. So how wealth gets created and how wealth can be maximized. If the wealth of a nation grows, your wealth of a nation grows, it means the country is growing. Now, wealth means, in a very narrow sense, it means money. So people, when they listen to the word, listen to the definition given by Adam Smith. So people said it is a subject which only talks about money. So it is a very narrow subject. People got a wrong impression. So wrong impression that we are talking about only money in economics. So there are certain, what we call it as, there are certain limitations of this definition. Limitations in the sense, yeah, the limitations, what I call it as, I will put it here. This definition needed certain improvement. Today, when you discuss economics, we don't just discuss about money. Money is one of the resources which we discuss in economics. Non-money resources also we discuss. Non-money resources such as land utilization, how land can be used properly. Non-money resources such as machines, how machines can be used properly. So people had a very narrow understanding about the subject when they read the definition of Adam Smith. So yes, we discuss in economics the we discuss about wealth, but wealth is not only the thing we discuss. So this definition needed certain improvement because it was giving only a narrow perspective of economics. It was giving only a narrow perspective. What is a narrow perspective? That it focuses only on the money aspect, focuses only on. So I can just put it here. I can just say that it focuses only on what? It focuses only on the monetary part. Focuses only on monetary aspect of human life. We are only focusing on money. That is what people try to understand. But yes, we are focusing on money, but money is only one part of the total subject. That understanding people don't get if people are focusing only on the definition created or definition given by Adam Smith. So therefore, it required certain improvement. This definition required certain improvement. Or in simple words, money is important. Yeah, money is important for human life, but it is only what I call it as, it is the quantitative part. Means Adam Smith's definition focuses only on quantitative part of human life. Quantitative part means what can make a person happy? Only money. Maximization of money is the only focus of economics. That is what the wrong idea people get if they are focusing on the Adam Smith's definition. But there is qualitative aspect also. There is qualitative aspect also of human life. Qualitative aspect. Yeah, qualitative aspect which is ignored. Ignored where? Which is ignored in this definition. So that means what? This definition required improvement. Yeah, this definition required improvement. What I can say, this definition required certain improvement. So I'll put it here. Definition is, I can say, today if anybody asks you, does economics talk about wealth? Does economics talk about money? Yes, it talks about money, but only 20% of economics is talking about money. 80% of economics is talking about non-money issues, non-money resources. So definition of economics is, we can say, definition requires, I'll put it here, requires improvement. Definition requires improvement, and I can say this definition is only 30% correct. It is only 30% correct. Yeah, 30% correct. That means, yeah, we discuss in economics money, but money is not the only thing we focus in economics. But we are focusing on non-money resources like land, non-money resources like labor, non-money resources like machines, non-money resources like buildings, yeah, non-money resources like human efficiency. All these resources are being discussed, and the purpose is to see how these limited resources can be used excellently, or how they can be used to achieve the objective of maximum profit. So this is the first definition, which so first definition of economics. Now, as I said, this is not after Adam Smith. Number of people have tried to improve upon the definition given by Adam Smith. So it indicates that the Smith's definition is slightly incomplete. It is, I cannot say it is incorrect. It is complete only 30%. But the subject has evolved in the last 300 years, and therefore this requires certain improvement. And the second improvement was done by, the second, what I call it as the second definition, which was given by Alfred Marshall. Second definition was given by Alfred Marshall way back in somewhere around, that was in 1890. And you find that this is a definition which took almost more than 1776 first definition, and later on you find that next better definition was given by Alfred Marshall in 1819. In between also people tried to give the definitions, but it did not lead to much improvement in the understanding of the subject. So here this definition, which is considered to be better than the definition given by Adam Smith, is written in the book called as Principles of Economics. Principles of Economics. So as I said, the purpose of this session is to just give you the basics orientation, so everybody understands where did this subject start, where it is applied, and how is it a very, very important subject in the course of management, management subjects. So that is the reason why we are trying to focus on analyzing few contributions made by very, very famous economists or leading economists. First one, we came to know about Adam Smith, and he is said to be the father of economics. I think I just missed that word here. Adam Smith, why do we cover his definition? Adam Smith, because he is considered to be the father of economics. He is the one who wrote the book on Wealth of Nations, and therefore a separate, what I call it as a subject started, a separate discipline started, and therefore he is given the title. Of the father of economics. So I'll be sharing these slides immediately after the class, so that you can revise what is being discussed in the session. Okay, so we picked up the second one. Why this definition is picked up? Because this is considered to give a better perspective or better understanding about the nature and scope of the subject. So as per the perception or understanding of Marshall, he says, yes, economics is not just a study of wealth, but more importantly, it is a study of mankind. It is a study of mankind. In ordinary business of life. Ordinary business of life. It is a study of mankind. So advantage is what? Advantage is that Marshall is shifting the focus of subjects from money. He suggests shifting the focus of the subject of money to mankind. So Marshall says, yes, economics is an important subject, but it is not just focusing on money, but it is focusing on the study of mankind. Now, about mankind, what it is trying to study? About mankind, it is trying to study how people use their limited resources. To achieve their objectives. So people in the sense, people in all the sectors. In the sense, it studies how, means economics, what does it mean? It studies how people use their resources. How people use their resources. How people use their resources to achieve their objectives. Achieve their objectives. So what we shall do is, we shall just review one more definition and then conclude the sessions. So you find that If you anybody asks you what is economics, and suppose you say that it is a study of mankind, it is a study of mankind, so people get a better perception of the subject instead of saying that it is just a study of money as given by Adam Smith. If you say, people say that array, it is just a very narrow subject, it is focusing only on the money issues, but money is not the only thing that is there in human life. Yeah, in order to get a satisfaction along with money, we would like to have so many qualitative things, and these qualitative things are not studied in economics. That is what people get a wrong idea. But this definition improves the perception of the subject, and now they say, yeah, it is not just a study of money, main focus is mankind. But after 1890 also, you see that number of people have tried to improve upon the definition. It means even this definition has brief limitation. It has one particular limitation. What is that? It does not focus on the main cause of what we call it as the root cause of economic problems. It does not focus on the root cause of all economic problem. Root cause, yeah, that is root cause of all economic problems. All economic problems. The root cause is not being examined. And what is the root cause? The root cause is scarcity. The root cause is scarcity. The scarcity is the root cause of all economic problems which individual is facing, which the nation is facing, and which the world community is also facing. The world community is also facing the root cause. Yeah, and this root cause should be reflected. The root cause should be reflected in this entire discussion of economics. So if the definition is including the concept of scarcity, then I can say that it is the best definition. So the last definition, which includes the concept of scarcity, has been given by the third and the last economist. The third and the last economist, that happens to be Lionel Robbins. Yeah, Lionel Robbins. So this is the last definition we shall analyze and try to conclude the session. And this definition was given way back in the year 1932. So again, you see, from 1890 to 1932, almost more than 40 years. In between also, people have tried to interpret it, but nobody was able to give the better definition. And you find that the root cause of all economic problem, that is scarcity, should be reflected in the definition. So economics is a science of scarcity. Wherever there is a problem of scarcity, you can find the application of economics. So what do? I'll just try to highlight the definition which has been given by Lionel Robbins in the book. Yeah, as you find that every author has written a famous book, and in those books you find the definition. Now, we didn't have to go to all those books in detail. We just have to remember the titles of the important book. And the important book which Lionel Robbins has written, it is called as An Enquiry into the nature and significance of economic science. And in this we find the best definition which has been given by Lionel Robbins, which all students of economics have to remember. And what is this definition? He says economics is a study of, he says it is a study of relationship. It is a study of relationship between, again I'll highlight important words, ends and scarce means. Ends and scarce means, I'm highlighting important words which you have to remember. Yeah, that is, what is that? It is studying the relationship between ends and scarce means which have alternative uses. Alternative uses. Now, this is the definition which links the subject of economics very close to the managers, very close to the managers. Yeah, how is it related? How is it related? We can say, we can just highlight what is the meaning of this. Yeah, you can see what is the meaning of this words. Yeah, economics is a science which tells you about ends. Ends are nothing but objectives. Objectives. Objectives of objectives. What is the objective of a business person? Objective of a business person is maximizing profit. Yeah, maximizing maximizing profit is his objective. So how maximum profit can be achieved? How maximum profit can be achieved with the limited resources? Whereas the objective of the government is maximizing welfare of the citizens. Yeah, why it is giving COVID doses free of cost? Because welfare is the objective. Welfare. If yeah, government would not have given, if the objective was profit, government would not have given the COVID doses free of cost to all the people. All the people. So this is ends. Yeah. Then economics is nothing but it studies the relationship between three words: ends, scarce means, and alternative uses. So there are objectives. Objectives of the producer: maximizing profit, and objective of the consumer is what we call it as maximizing satisfaction. Now, in order to achieve this objective, producer wants to achieve the objective of profit, consumer want to achieve the objective of satisfaction. For this, what do they use? They use what is known as means. Second word, it means resources. SOUR, they are resources. Now, what are these resources? The resources are nothing but, yeah, the resources means the things which they are using to achieve their ends. Yeah, resources, or we call them as, let us say, we call them as in economics as factors of production. So people use factors of production to achieve their ends. Now, where does the problem arise? The resources are not only limited, and ends or objectives are unlimited, but problem gets more complicated because of the third word. What is the third word? That is alternative uses. Alternative uses, and therefore there is a problem of decision making. Yeah, there is a problem of decision making. Now, what is that problem? The problem is how to use the limited means. Limited means to achieve what I call it as achieve the unlimited objectives. So this is what is the basic purpose of our subject. So let me correct the spellings here. Yeah. So this is the basic purpose. So now this decision making problem is also faced by every manager or every entrepreneur or every CEO of the company faces this particular problem. What is the problem? How I should use my limited means or resources. How I should use my limited means or resources to achieve my unlimited objective of highest profit. And the problem gets complicated because each resource is having alternative uses. And when a resource is having alternative uses, there is a problem of decision making. At that time, what happens? At that time, laws and theories in economics, theories in economics help. Economics help in the decision making. They help in the decision making problem. So this is how we can try to lay the foundation of understanding what the subject is. So we picked up two things. The first is just to understand the focus or starting point of the subject, and we have concluded that the meaning of the word is management of resources. And to understand the greater things or greater depth of nature and scope of the subject, we picked up some definition, and we picked up the definition of father of economics, where he said it was science of wealth. But as time passed, we found that this definition is very narrow, because in economics we just don't focus on wealth, but we more focus on the human welfare, or we focus on mankind. So this mankind definition has been included in the second, and the last one, we focus on the use of limited resources to achieve the unlimited wants in the context of alternative uses. So this is what is the basic content of the entire subject of economics. So what I do is, initially, just I will just stop the recording. I will stop the recording and then try to see that if at all any queries are there. Yeah. I have stopped, so you can ask if at all any. Is it? You are able to understand what is being done in the class?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, that's good. So I'll be sharing the slides, so you don't have to worry about it. I'll be sharing, and I'll be giving the study material also. Okay. Thank you very much for joining the session. I think another teachers are waiting online. Yeah. So we'll meet again in the next session. Thank you very much, and have a nice day.
Thank you, sir.
You can. Yeah. Thank you. You can log out.